Bracket racing isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life. Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life broadcast. Still got that Christmas music rolling in the background. That's all right. Tis the season. I guess Brandon here with Andrew as always. Andrew, how's it going tonight, bud?
We're doing well. We've got the Christmas countdown coming. Santa's rolling. I don't know what else to say at this time of year, right?
That's it. That's all you can say, right? Long dark days. I guess, it's kind of cold. It was white here for a little bit, and then all the snow went away, and we got a little bit back this morning. But We'll see if that stays or not. But it's chilly enough.
Well, we have just enough right now that a white Christmas. Technically, we could have one if it holds out, but I'm a big fan of the whole green Christmas thing. That's where my heart's at. But we'll see how this works out.
It's a different time because, I'm not as if I was a little younger and still like going and playing hockey on the bay or on the river here. Then it'd be a little different. Like we did, 3 years ago we did that. But you can go skating out there, but it's more like swimming.
Well, yes, exactly, right? Like I never was big on the outdoor skating. I was more when I found my legs indoor ice, and then I discovered that you can also play hockey in the summer. So now the winter didn't hold a lot more interest for me, right? Air conditioning, refrigeration.
Yeah, no, it works, right? Either way, I'm not that upset because it's just less to clean up. I hate the slush, but enough time about winter, enough time about the weather. Everything like that before we officially kick off. Thank KD Transmissions located in Belleville, Ontario. Thanks Johnny and Donnie there and everybody else helping out, supporting the show, supporting Bracket Life, and supporting drag racing all across Ontario and Quebec. Big supporters of Shannonville Drags, Lustville Dragway, the Bracket Super Tour, and everything else that's going on. So lots of great help, great support there from KD. Need anything for your race car, truck, trailer, I guess not really trailer, maybe trailer, give them a call, see what they can do. Your everyday daily driving car, whatever you need. Check out KDTransmissions.com. Thanks for their support. As always, we appreciate it. And we will carry on diving in. Andrew, Canadian Countdown. As we all know, right? It's kind of dull.
It's that time of year, right? Post PRI, there's not a lot of races. There's pretty much none outside of a few bracket races down south. So it's just quiet time of year. It's that reflective point. I know there was racing at Bradenton, and we had some friends down there, some Canadian counterparts, try to turn on some wind lights. I don't think that was the case for many of them, but fun time was had. And
we had Phil Harvey did pretty. I'm not sure what day it was. I know Phil Harvey, I think, went to round 6. It was Friday.
Yeah.
Friday it was, because I remember it came up after in our group chat, and then he ended up, I want to say round 6, he's 003, dead on 9, 12 total, good lap. His opponent is 1, dead on 8. So no good. No good. That was it, round 6 for him. The round before him, the winning light was 47th.
Oof.
Just tip there. Just if you're watching, everybody thinks you always got to be 00 and dead on.
Yeah, no,
not
the case.
Just pulling the lanes right.
That's yes, yeah.
It sounds very easy, but it's not. But you just got to pull in the lanes right.
Let me add that to my Santa wish list for next year. Is the ability to pull into the lanes better?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Other than that, for the countdown, we're pretty close to the Winter Rumble Practice Street Challenge, so. Keep that on your list there, right? February 3rd.
Yeah. Ask Santa for some passes. If you don't have any under the tree yet, maybe someone could bring some entry fee.
That's it.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's that Well, that's the thing. It's one of those events you circle on the calendar, right? Like it's again long winter, right? We talked about the dark days, and you get through it. You get through New Year, and you need something to look forward to get you through. And sometimes May 24 is just a little too far to sight. So
Yeah, it is. I've been thinking about it today. I've been jonesing to go racing. And I'm like, I really want to go, but that's we're not anywhere close to that. So Practice Street Challenge will work for me.
that's true. That's true.
But
if you did want to go racing,
that's good lead in. Good lead in. Yeah. Hit that one, Andrew.
KSR Racecation. Our buddy Kevin Stittle is in Florida. He has a car. It is ready to be rented, I guess is the right word. Wrong word. I don't want to paint this the wrong way, but it's a turnkey operation. All you got to do is get a hold of Kevin. He can deal with all your accommodations to get down there, flights, or just simply be at the racetrack with the car ready to go. If you want to jump on a plane, in a car, on a boat, get down to Florida and find a race, he will have a car there for you. It's I think Kevin was at the SFG race for a portion of it or the whole thing. I can't remember, but
I know he was there for sure for at least a few days. I'm not sure how he ended up making out, but I know he was down there.
Yep. Actually, I think he actually went through a bit of struggle with it. He heard a tranny and he went through the thrash mode of getting a transmission fixed. I'm not even sure if he missed a day, but got a new trans back together in the car, ready to rock and roll. So dedication to it. So it was a good thrash test that if there was ever an issue, he was able to get it accommodated, but the car's back up rolling. And did well with it. But if you ever want to get down to Florida, need a car, want to roll, do like what we just talked about doing, which is get out of the cold and find some warmth. KSR Racecation.
Absolutely. Check him out on Facebook. Send him a message. If you are having a hard time finding Kevin, send one of us a message. Send Bracket Life a message. We'll get you set up.
Absolutely.
Send you on your way. I'd love to see somebody down in Florida, go down there with Kevin and make some money. So give us something fun to watch, right?
That's it.
Put on a show.
That would be it. Let us know if you're going to do it. I told Kevin, if you get someone down there, he's had a lot of people phoning him and messaging him. It's been, I think, one of those things where Christmas is that tough time of year to get away, but it sounds like there's been a lot of interest for this January, February, March events down there.
Yeah.
But let us know if you've got time booked. We would love to follow along.
Absolutely would.
Brandon doesn't book the car in February anyway, right? So
well, that's it. You never know. You never know what can happen. We are going to Florida at the end of February, so you never know what can happen.
There you go.
So Andrew, tonight we'll dive in. We have a main discussion that we want to hit on here. We want to talk about our Santa wish list that you and I both have set up, and then we have some big news later on in the show. I'm really excited for it. To
absolutely
shake up some things a little bit, I guess maybe. And
it's should be one of those deals where if the same thing that got us quite a bit of press last year comes back around, this should be another great lead into 2024, right? So
absolutely, I'm ready for it. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. So Andrew, we'll dive into the wish list here. So you got some good ones set up. So we're gonna break this down into two categories for ourselves. We have a wish list for drag racing as a whole.
Yeah.
The industry of drag racing, and then we're gonna bring it down a little bit and focus on some personal wish list items that we would really hope that Santa brings to us for 2024. So, Andrew, let's dive into that for the some industry wish list items.
I put it over top. So coming out of PRI, and depending on how you looked at the announcement that NHRA put up, right, it was either going to be the world's biggest NHRA announcement ever, as it kind of led into, and depending on your view of it, it either was the biggest letdown or one of the biggest newses in the off season. But Tony Stewart moving into a full-time Top Fuel ride in 2024. Taking over for his wife, Leah, as they look to start a family. Number one on my list, and I'll be honest with you, because controversy is a fun thing, is I want to see Tony Stewart. If Santa could deliver a Tony Stewart W at the Gator Nationals, the first event of the year, to kick off the year, boy, would that not be a huge gift to the sport of racing? Only from the standpoint of this guy transcends the motorsports. Like, he is across all the motorsport platforms. If you're a fan of him in some capacity, it's from dirt racing, it's from stock car racing, or more recently drag racing. This would be huge for the sport to put us on that radar across the board. And to be honest, maybe even cross over into a little bit of the mainstream media, right? Just because he has that type of power, right, and carries that type of precedent.
Something that I want to hit just quick before we do move on to your second item, just because that's a good topic to bring up.
Yep.
Drag Coverage did have a good post about that, with whatever side that you feel about the Tony Stewart news or not. It is great publicity for it. Does it directly, in fact, impact you or I with our bracket racing stuff, being up here doing all of our own racing? No, probably not. Right? Doesn't really have a big impact for you or I or anything like that. But it is overall good for the sport. I do believe, as I said, like that Drag Coverage post, it feels like however long ago, well, 2 weeks ago, I guess now almost, regarding the news and the impact it is going to have on drag racing as a whole. This is a great time for drag racing. And if we are looking to grow it, this leads off of our discussion 2 weeks ago here. Right, looking to grow this, we have eyeballs on us right now, and there's an opportunity to really impact that. So keep rolling with that. I think Tony Stewart winning the Gators would be huge.
That would be gigantic. It took the words right out of my mouth too, talking with Eric, right, about what big things can get people moving just into our sport and then through it. That would be the one, right? That would make waves. Number 2 on my list, and I will say it's in no particular order here as I work through this.
Yeah,
a Canadian winning. I want to say any class at the World Series of Pro Modified that's coming up in March, or the Pro Challenge, the Scugog Pro Star Challenge that Drag Illustrated is putting on, because it's 2 separate events and there's Canadians run through both of them. But a huge win there would just that be a great present under the tree to see Spencer go back to back, or to see Scotty Wildgust break through with a gigantic win. I believe Eric Latino's going back down. There's Kenny Lang is rolling in there with a pro mod. Just any one of those. Plus, I know Top Sportsman's getting fielded. I'm not sure what the invites are for the Top Sportsman Challenge, but there's been lots of contingent and push towards seeing some Canadians get the invites. Super Stock, I believe, has got a class. There's a few candidates there. Any one of them in it, or all of them.
Yeah, we're not picky.
We're not picky.
I'm not sure how many classes there are. If we ran the table on it, then that'd be all right.
You look at last year, right? The A class and the B class, right? Spencer picking up the win, and then Melanie, I believe she won the B side of that, and that was a pro mod run of the table in my books on the Canadian contingent, but. That would be one. If Santa could deliver a W at the World Series of Pro Mod in any capacity, that would be a great gift. I've got number 3, a Canadian World Championship in NHRA. We've had a ton of Canadians in the last 4 or 5 years really compete, go down to the wire, and it's been so close so often that it would be great to see an NHRA World Championship be won with a Canadian flag sitting over top. Charlie Kanopic a few years back, finishing 3rd in the world of super gas. Rick Stroud having a run in Division 1 last year, which put him into some conversations, when it came to NHRA championship, right? Was, at least in the, top of the division, which puts you into some contingent in the world. Lots of Canadians out west who've done well to hang around divisionally. Sean Cowie has certainly been a name that's hung around quite a bit in the top alcohol dragster contingent. I mean, he's always fast. It's just a matter of when's it finally going to come together to put him into the World Championship conversation at the end of the year to be number 1. Pro Modified, right? We've had lots of racers over the years in Pro Modified that have put up runs, but to see a champion come out of Pro Modified would just be fantastic there too. But more than enough. So to finally see everything come together and do that would, if Santa could deliver on that, that would be something big for our industry. To go off the Canadian board a little bit and come back over and maybe just more of my own personal, a JFR win, John Force, lots of conversation through PRI, right? About just where's John Force going? Is this finally, the retirement tour? Kind of every year it's another conversation. Been a JFR fan and a JF fan for my entire life since he came to St. Thomas and was literally burning cars to the ground to entertain the masses at St. Thomas or London Motorsports Park. I've never helped been able to cheer for the man. And, to see, a world championship from John Force on the way out would just, I feel like, be that you couldn't write a better story. Like type of deal. But to see him, maybe if this is a final year, go out and with some wins, going out fighting, that would be something really cool to see.
I agree. I very much agree on that last one. That's a good one. Big John Force fan as well. Always have been and always will be.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it end like that. I don't want to see him end, whenever it is finished, whenever that time does come for him to be out of the race car. I really hope that it is on top.
Yeah. And I think it's suiting for someone that has, like, he is one of those rag to riches stories now. Certainly he dominated the fuel funny cars through, a couple of decades, really, when you look at how long the championship run was. But, I think you can argue how big it's become and how, the type of team created some difficulties in the sport, but he did it from, literally having nothing in Australia, breaking cars and just trying to, the bologna sandwich stories of not having any food to eat as you go from one race to the other. Like, he built an empire off that. And so it was rather rough when I saw the statistic that 2023 had no W's, right? There was no race wins. And then that talk from PRI, like, is this the last year? So to put a cap on that would be something the Christmas wish delivery, to see that story end on a high. Boy, that would be cool, right?
Absolutely. We roll in. I got a couple. They're a bit of a different feel.
Yep.
And kind of yours a little bit, but that's all right. That's the point of doing both of them. My first one that I want to talk about for us in Canadian drag racing specific, I really hope event participation is up.
Yeah.
Now, how far up can it realistically get? I'm not really sure, but I know for the local events, having local racers be able to come out and participate more would be awesome. Obviously growing participation helps the events, helps the promoters, helps the racetracks, everything like that. So all the support that you can get, all the support the racers can give, I hope I wish for the best for everybody across the board. And it's very hard for every single track to be successful or every event to be successful. But, as a whole, where the old saying, right, rising tide lifts all boats. I really hope that is the deal for 2024. Everybody knows the situation with how expensive everything is and this and that and the other thing, right? There's a million reasons why it can't be, but I really hope that it can, and that, we make these events and these weekends we can go racing, make them special and really try and, enjoy it for it and make the most of what we do have. Because we have an awesome setup right now. And it is a great time for Canadian drag racing to keep riding that high. Yeah.
Well, it's a good point to make, and not to jump in too quick, but like just that.
Yeah.
It's one of those times when you look across the board with the amount of investment we've seen from tracks in Canada, and it's easy to take some of our comments, look at more specifically the areas we're in. But if you look at just Canada wide, how much with tracks changing hands, going to racing ownership, not ambiguous ownerships where we're not sure about futures, seeing tracks invest in equipment, seeing tracks invest in facilities, seeing organizations invest in facilities with new names coming to run, some of the boards. I think it was Saskatchewan where they've got a new leader out there, right? And a younger face and a fresh face. And I feel bad I don't have, I think it's
I can find it here quick.
Yeah. But just seeing that type of maneuvers across the industry in general in Canada, like that optimism, right? We've got all the tracks firing on all cylinders. It seems like across the country. I would love to see participation numbers in 2024, unanimously say like, these are the best numbers we've seen since blank. And that would be just huge. And I feel like we have that potential because, it sounded like it was a struggle for a lot of places this year, and weather was the big key. A dry summer would certainly help with saying we had a best season ever if we could deal with that, right? But
so we'll hit some examples quick because obviously we're on the topic. We talk about SIR, Saskatchewan International Raceway. Kim Breckner, new club president out there for drag racing. SIR as well signed on WDRA member track, so they're set up for that. So that's great. Definitely growing, expanding. We need to get some more information from SIR for the show, and maybe we'll get. Maybe we can look at a time we get Kim on, and we can talk about some of that racing. So mark that down, right? Just off the top of our head. Right now, Canadian Drag Racing Mission Raceway, Mission BC, huge things going on, right? Huge events happening there. Rad Torque Raceway just having a sale, right? Very, I don't want to say nerve-wracking times, but that's always nerve-wracking, but exciting times because there is a direction that they are headed right now. We highlighted SIR here. Lots of new equipment that went on last year at TMP, new equipment at Grand Bend. Shannonville Drags, obviously, everything that Chuck's got going on, really growing that series as well.
Absolutely.
Luskville and Naperville running with the Super Tour back together for that 5-race series. And huge events at both of those.
And big upgrades. Luskville's done quite a bit. I mean, Arnie's been great about
for the last how many years now, right? New track surface, now the new finish or top end surface, pits, walls, everything like that, right? Everything that's going on in Luskville, everything going on in Naperville, really exciting stuff.
Yes.
Down east, lots of great news, right? We talked last year a lot with Greenfield Dragway. Like there was some new news with Cape Breton. The NHRA National Open Series, right? We have a lot to talk about in Canadian drag racing right now. So as much, I hope that the racers are able to come out and support these tracks and these ventures and these series in the way that I think, we should do it, and that these people all deserve to have their work recognized. So that's a big one for 2024,
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes. Kind of a little bit hand in hand with this, not really relevant to Canadian drag racing as much. If you were on Facebook mainly, I guess, last week, and as we talked about the SFG race in Bradenton, right, there's a lot of, a lot of upset people sitting at home, complaining about racetracks, complaining about events, this, that, just because it was so top heavy. Yeah. It's kind of one thing that you hope that stays away, especially in our area for it. That's not good for anybody, whether it's warranted or not, whatever your opinion is. If you're not at the racetrack, that's one thing. Yep. These people are doing the best they can. And, that's not helping anybody's cause by just bashing it. So I really hope that stays away from us in 24.
Yeah, it's certainly been something that, the negativity towards, and you can insert different promotions and different things that have gone on over the years, right? It would be nice, a great Christmas wish to see 2024 move away from, if you're not a fan of it, just let it be. Spend the energy and spend the energy from going after something that you're not involved with and won't, and put it towards promoting something that you want to see, right? Or out of a series that you want to see get more, exposure from, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that does wear on it, and it's tough because I think this is part of the post-COVID world where, we've seen a lot of negativity for years from different parts of our life, and it seeps into all parts. And sometimes that's what happens in motorsports and sports in general, is we allow things from other areas of the world to seep into it and change our view and how we look at things. But, as a person who's not a fan of some big money series out there, it's much easier, truthfully, to be honest, to go and find something and go, okay, I'm not a fan of that, but I don't want to waste energy on that. Let's go latch onto this and push this and find something there. And that would be nice to see, if we could bring a little more positivity spin on the stuff that we really want to see happen and just let bygones be bygones of stuff we don't like. I think we'd really see a culture change in our, sport, and a change in how we view things.
Absolutely. I agree. Sandra, let's hit some more personal wish list items. What do you got on there?
Well, this one's a tough one, but I be honest with you, I wish I could find 25 more horsepower under the tree. And I don't know if Santa's going to bring that, but certainly we're close to getting the dyno up and running. The long saga that has been acquiring of a dyno system is getting closer. We've made some pulls on it, as if you follow me on social media, we've seen. But 25 more horsepower on anything, I don't care what it is. Just help me find it, and I think I know the means in which we're going to do it. But that would be the first thing under my tree, just because who doesn't want more power and go a little faster for no other reason than you found something, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to argue with that.
Right. It's, just, hey, one small change found this is all I want to see in 2024. If that could be wrapped up and put out of the bow under the tree, that would be fun.
Yeah.
In this part, I didn't do very well in this part from the personal side because I was thinking more of the big picture type stuff. So when I thought about personal, I'm like, I don't know what I'd ask for, but if I had to go off the chop and say like something sitting on the tree, maybe a new dragster, something with front and rear suspension. If Santa's out there listening, that would just be the coolest thing ever. I'll figure the motor out. If it's a roller, that's fine too. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's on every person's Christmas list to some extent. So I don't know how exclusive or personal that is, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
I'll roll with that.
Yeah. Well, you want a dragster. I know a guy that wants a Corvette Roadster. I don't know what we're doing here, how we can make something work out, Andrew, but maybe one day. They're good ones, right? That's a good good wish list. I don't mind that, right? No extra horsepower, and then maybe a new dragster. And just new to you, right? You're not picky. It doesn't need to be brand new.
I'm not saying I need some next series number off the assembly line, but if Santa found a great deal on a dragster and could pick it up and drop it off, like I wouldn't say no. I'm not. The worst thing that ever happened in my personal life was that some guy named Brandon Barker let me wheel a dragster, and it just set this
downhill.
All it did was reaffirm that. Yep, I think this is fun, and I kind of like them.
Yeah.
Feel free to make fun of me from here on out, but I need a dragster at some point, right? And worst financial decision that ever happened to me was to jump into that red and black car.
That's all right.
Now I have a dragster fund being started. No complaints.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe pick it up on Troy's. I see his comment come through in there, and that's one that hits home for I think a lot of people.
Yeah. That really that lines up with mine, right? Mine a little bit different, than Troy's, but mine just plain and simple is big checks.
Yeah.
I really would love for Santa to bring some big checks in 2024.
Yeah.
Been a little bit. Well, didn't get one last year. Nothing in 23. Didn't race much in 23, but no big wins for me.
Right?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a struggle year, and we've talked about that, right? Like was one of those
and
years
that's all right.
There's a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
So
and you need that sometimes, right? Get it all dealt with. But big checks. That's mine pretty well. I'm not sure if anybody else out there watching wants to add on to Troy and come with us and talk about some different Christmas wish list items they have. But if you do, throw them in the comments. We can check them out as we keep going through all this stuff. I'm not sure what else I'd really have on it. Really for racing overall, I guess Stacker. Stacker'd be cool. And as I said, Corvette Roadster.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a Corvette Roadster, just a Roadster.
No, that's
a door car. A door car, really.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like I feel like we've had these conversations, right? Where this, the 5.0, 510 Roadster, or the 640 wheelie. I won't say wheelie wagon, but the wheelie mobile, right? Like, we've kind of gone back and forth on that discussion with you on just the shared links of, look at this, and so either one of those in the stacker.
Yeah, that's it. That National Open Series really got me wound up for it, right? Because I have everything else to do Top Dragster, to do Super Comp.
Yeah,
don't have anything to do Super Gas with though, so that's kind of the deal. I'd like something I can do both in.
That's fair. That's fair.
Run Super Pro and run Super Gas. So how much I'd actually run Super Gas is.
It only takes one race to sink the hook into you, and all of a sudden now it's you're on the road chasing all sorts of Super Gas Wallies, right?
Absolutely. You never know what can happen, right? So Andrew, any other Christmas items you want to hit?
I think I've covered my personal list. It kind of was one of those quick ones to roll through. I mean, it's the Christmas show. It's It
is the Christmas show. It's crazy how close we are. Yeah. I'm just trying to move some stuff around here. There we go. We got the next slide set up. So we'll roll through. Now, we talked about our Christmas wish list, how we will see what actually comes of it. Got a good idea there. Neil Armstrong. I don't know if this is a Christmas wish list or not, but get Glenn on for the NHRA Canada show. Andrew, you know Glenn more than
I've talked to him. Yeah, we've talked to him a bit. I know there was some conversation coming up about some potential sponsorship stuff coming, possibly in, I guess, the new year based on where we're at. So I think that would be a great conversation to get Glenn on to talk about the series.
Yep.
Talk about Glenn's really great to talk to about NHRA, racing in Canada in general. I know his specific area has been out east, right? Being from Montreal in the Eastern Series, but I'd love to just talk to him about, NHRA racing in Canada in general. That'd be a great show. And when they get some more announcements on the series, maybe this is that New Year conversation. That would be a great conversation for him. So throw that on the Christmas list to see if we can get Glenn on the show. Santa, if he can deliver that, that would be perfect.
Yeah. All right, so we'll roll through. Next screen share. Where do we got to go? Need an entire screen. This will be the next big thing for Bracket Life here for the next month or so.
Yep.
We'll share it. I'm excited for this. Here it is. There it is. Bracket Life brand top 30
Yes.
drag racers of 2023 presented by Pro1Safety.ca. Check that all out. This is, last year's top 25 kind of reimagined.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. We went back to the drawing board. You went back to the drawing board. I'm not going to take any credit on this. You and Rachel, this is your brainchild, right? But we talked about it, and the 25 was a big broadcast for us last year. It was a big conversation point for us. It certainly got us in a lot of hot water in certain areas, and it was a highlight in others. So you've gone back to the board and you've come up with a great idea. So maybe I'll let you pitch how this is going to work to do the top 30 in this coming year.
Absolutely. So this year, we really want to focus on 2023, right? We will be this show and the results will all come January 2024. But we want to look back at 2023. I want to be specific about our criteria and what we're actually looking for here and highlight who was the best of the best in Canadian drag racing. And we have a good mix here, I think, for it. So, go on bracketlifebrand.com, right homepage. It'll have your nominations, or at the top of the screen, top 30 nomination form. As I said, we want to recognize the best from 23. And this is the best racers. I don't know. You can kind of have a loose feel to it, right? Whether this is somebody that all year went and dominated for it and had a great season and deserves to be recognized, whether they had one wicked weekend, right? That's a cool story and deserves to be talked about on there, or just, whoever else you think is great or did great throughout the year. Go through, talk about that. I can share my screen once again for the nomination form here in a minute.
For those on the podcast version who maybe aren't seeing this, just listening to it.
Take it all in.
Yeah.
Go to bracketlifebrand.com. You'll see it. Right? It'll be right up there. So what we're going to recognize, or who we're going to recognize this year, the top 10. Sorry, let me just share this unit. There we go. I'm not sure how well you can see that, especially if you're on your phone. Probably not that great, but we're trying our best here. So the top 30 list. So we want to recognize the top 10 top bulb or super pro competitors across Canada, coast to coast, right? Vote for anybody you want that you think deserves to be on here. 10 bottom bulb or foot brake racers. We have 5 junior dragster racers and 5 racers from other divisions or different styles of drag racing. You know what I'm saying? Whether this is Pro Mod, Super Gas, Top Dragster, whatever it is, something that's not, right? We're mainly a bracket racing show. We're mainly a bracket racing country for the most part. So we're going to highlight more on the sportsman/bracket racers. So go through that. But then we also want to hit everybody else that is in there. So that'll make up our top 30 list. Jump on there. Voting is now open for it. Vote as many times as you want. For everybody else, don't go in and vote for your best buddy 17 times because that's not going to work and it's not going to count. But vote for as many individuals as you would like, right? And then try and get through. I want to get as many votes for as many different categories as we can. So you will have the options. But I can just show you. So you go on to bracketlifebrand.com, top 30 nomination form at the top. You'll get to this screen here. It's that for those of you that are listening, not watching. You'll go to it. You'll figure out on the website come down, you can click on the picture at the bottom or just click the link at the very bottom. This will take you to the screen, for your nomination. Come through, fill out all you need your email, your nominee's name, their class, their hometown, where they're from, their contact info, if you can get that to us.
Yep.
You might not have their cell phone information or their email or whatever that is, but if you have it, we would love to have it, because then when we are able to reach out to the nominees and those who are selected, your contact info as well. And the key part at the very bottom of the screen, why does this racer deserve to be recognized as one of the top 30 from 2023? So that's the procedure.
Yeah.
Go through it. Right.
So it's been reformatted. We've gone from 25 to 30. We've opened it up. Top bulb, bottom bulb, junior, other. There are certainly more than enough candidates to qualify on the other side based on what we've talked about throughout the whole year. So we shouldn't be surprised to see a couple in there roll through. But we've reformatted it to be voted on by the people.
Yes.
Nominated from the people, voted on by the people.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to create the list as we go through this year. The list is open till the 14th of January. Results, if all goes well and we have no hanging chads that create any voting problems and there's no petitions for recounts, January 16th, we should see some results on here, and we will have a 30 list voted on by the people, for the people, from the people.
Yes. Recounts will be done by somebody that cannot count, so that just is what it is.
Yeah,
you better hope it's not a recount.
No.
You're going to hope it's not a recount.
The only way we're taking anything on this, it has to be an injunction from the Utah courts in order to stop this from actually happening on the 16th.
It's the only way.
The only way we're accepting. It's the only
we
thing.
Don't. Yeah, I'd like to say we don't make the rules, but we do. So that's what it is. You got to go through the Utah courts. So yeah, like Andrew said, right? Sunday, January 14th, that will close. What exact time? Probably later in the afternoon. I'm not sure if I can schedule that for midnight or if it'll be at 8 p.m. Either way, get your votes in before the 14th. Don't leave it for the last minute. We will have lots of updates online, social media, everything like that, keeping you updated. Results will be posted. We will be talked about in 2 episodes, which is crazy. Then in 2 episodes, we'll be midway through January. Yes. So Tuesday, January 16th. We had a great question come up here, Mark Bedard. How about those who made the best contribution to drag racing in Canada? It's a good one, Mark. It's a good question.
That's a big question.
I had that kind of in there as a I want to say an attribute, I guess, of who can be voted on, and then we kind of changed it. Whoever you believe deserves to be, is in the top 30. If they had a great contribution and you believe they deserve to be recognized, fire it in there. You might not be the only person who thinks that, this person did whatever this for the sport. Maybe it's not you that just thinks that, and maybe they get a whole bunch of votes from across Canada and they get on the top 30 list. Right? We don't know if we don't vote.
There you go.
So dive on there, check that out. That's the exciting news for us. I'm excited to see how this goes. I hope it goes well for everybody. I'm really excited to see the names that come up. I think that we can learn a lot. We kind of took this idea. I don't want to say like we necessarily plagiarized it, but maybe a little bit, just a little touch. Drag Illustrated 30 under 30. That's what I wanted to do. I think that's a great setup. I think that's a great way that they recognize racers and people. And I want to do the same for us across Canada. So this is a way we can get to all those little stories and all those different folks from coast to coast, really, by sharing this and then having different people submit their stories into us and the reasons why those people deserve to be recognized. So I think this will be really fun. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see the responses that we do get. Yeah, I can't wait.
Stories that will come from them, to be honest with you, right? That's one of the highlights is all the great news, the stories we get from across Canada. Sometimes there's stuff that you had no idea it happened and you get wind of it, and it's just a fantastic, story that gets to be shared. So this should be good. I'm super excited for it because I'm really hoping the engagement, this is east to west, north to south. I'm not sure how far north we can classify this, right? But
north and
coast to coast, right?
Yeah.
So this should be good. I'm excited for it. Love the new format, right? Engaging the people. So if there's any questions about someone not on the list, make
vote.
sure you got to vote, and make sure your buddies get in on this and understand what the criterion is. So it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. It gives us something to look forward to in January as we bridge the gap between the many parts of our off season, the hills, the valleys of trying to get through this thing we call winter. If you're Canadian, it seems to get easier, but it doesn't some years. So
Exactly. That's how it goes. So that's about it, right?
I think that pretty much
that's
it.
about the excitement for tonight. But yeah, make sure that before you do, I know when you get off here and maybe you're bored or you're contemplating life or contemplating racing, whatever it is you do, go to bracketlifebrand.com, go through, fill out your nomination form, however many times you want, nominate a boatload of people. I'm excited to see them. Yep. I'm sitting here. I have the response page up on my computer right now, and it's currently at 0, obviously, because we haven't really started it yet. But I'm just waiting for it, man. I hope it fills right up and floods them. Like I said, I'm excited to read all of these, and we'll go through these with Andrew as well, and fill it out. And I can't wait to bring these stories and these people to life for you guys all in a month.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys very much. I think that's about it. That's about it for this week. We don't really have. I guess there's how many more days till Christmas, Andrew? 6, 5 more. Really?
Yeah, technically 5. I guess the way we're gonna look at it, right? So I'm really, really hoping that the Elves are able to come up with some Mickey Thompson tires, get them on the sleigh in the next 5 days. We've got lots to look forward to. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a good Christmas. I hope it's safe for everyone. I hope it's enjoyable for everyone. I really, really wish there was a race going on during Christmas, but I know the New Year's races are going to kick in, and that's something I look forward to. And at least 10 more days, I guess, is when all the Southern Christmas races start, and the live feeds all start back up, so I can continue to have something to watch in the background while I'm working on all the things race cars and other. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I reiterate that. There's some World Junior Hockey coming up. I don't know how much fun to watch. I know there's a bunch of folks that are going to be checking that out. So that's exciting, right? Christmas time always comes up with that. So yeah, that'll be good. Thank you guys all for another great year. We won't see you until January 2nd. So it'll be after the New Year's. Like Andrew said, have a safe and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year with everything else. Make sure, nominate, talk about a Christmas dinner, bring up, hey, did you see the Bracket Life Top 30 list? Let's nominate some people. Let's get everybody recognized. Keep that going.
Anything to help out with the dinner, if it brings up a new subject for everyone to go around the table on, then everything we've done is worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to help you. Help us help you. So thank you guys very much. Andrew, thanks again. I appreciate you always taking your time to do this. Appreciate everybody in the comments, jumping on all this stuff. You guys are great. We love doing this stuff. I have a great time with it. As much as, sometimes the lead up to it, I'm like, oh man, it's there because there's a lot going on in life right now. But this is always a blast going on, talking about drag racing and having fun. I can't wait to see you all next year. I can't wait to see you all in February at the Practice Street competition. And then I can't wait to see you all at the racetrack. And we will talk to you guys all soon. Thanks again.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
See you later. Bracket racing isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life.